We did a garbage gift night where we drew names out of a digital hat and each person got someone to give a game. We played it for a bit, and let's just talk about the games that we got.
Okay, I'll go.
All right, we forced you. Frank?
Oh, you're twisting my arm. Ow, ow. Our very own Holly Jolly Hunter gave me Roombo, First Blood.
Caroling Carly, she gave me Crypt of the Necro Dancer.
Okay, let's do this. We're going to talk about this game. It is called Sex with Stalin.
Frank.
Yeah. Everybody give it
Frank. My game was from Tiny Tim Tom.
Nailed it.
And it's called Framed.
The game is called Fuzz Dungeon. I'm pretty sure immediately after I got it, I messaged you and was like, this better not be some fucking furry shit.
Furry Christmas.
And it's not. It's way worse.
There is a form of multimedia entertainment beyond that which is good. These games are as vast in number as they are terrible. They dwell in the dark recesses of history, unearthed from the pits of the bargain bin. These are the games of horror. This is Garbage Game Night.
Welcome to Garbage Gift Night. This is our holiday special. Is it too soon to do another special?
Nope.
I don't know. We'll have to ask the people in charge of that kind of thing.
We should just only do specials. Every
Well,
episode
we're doing it
should be
again,
special.
and if we get called out for doing too many specials, that's great, because it just means someone's out there watching or listening to us, and that would be the most magical gift of all. We did a gift exchange, and what we're doing tonight is we're talking about the games that we got each other. I jumbled all the names into a hat. I didn't do that. I don't know why I'm lying to you guys. It was an Excel spreadsheet, and I just kept hitting repeat until we didn't draw our own names.
What a nerd.
Anyway. We each got a gift for some. I'm just feeling the holiday spirit. We each got a gift for someone from the discount bin of Steam, and hopefully everyone's played their game enough to talk about it. But what are those names? Who are the people behind those names that we drew? Who played those deeply discounted games?
Are we drawing our order?
No. I was just gonna introduce the people since you're so on edge to do it. The name that I chose for you, Tom, is Tiny Tim Tom. Welcome, Tiny Tim Tom.
Ooh.
Tiny Tim Tom.
How are you?
Awesome.
Tiny Tim Tom.
I'm good.
They're
good.
only downhill from there, so don't get your hopes up too high.
I got very lucky recently, and one of my friends knows a guy, some Xbox Series X's fell off a truck. You know what I'm saying? And maybe
boy.
I got one.
Congratulations.
Are they hard to get?
They're really hard to get, and honestly,
only PS5s are hard to get at this point.
the guy, he is doing something kind of shady. He's like, he's buying them. I guess he has a good way of buying them. So
he's one of those people.
Currently has 10 of them.
Oh, wow. He's the problem.
He's then
We realize that, right?
reselling
He's the
them
problem.
Yeah, he's the problem. So he's he's not my friend, but this guy, he's like
I've never
reselling
met this
them
guy
for
before in my life.
way more because my buddy knows him. He sold it to him for at cost. We got lucky.
Congratulations!
And it's cool because it is definitely better, but it's so backwards compatible, and the guide when you boot it up is so identical that like it's like every once in a while I have to tell myself, I'm like, I did get it right. Like it's
You didn't just put
Tell me an whole thing, right?
because it's like it's completely
Put it in a new
seamless.
box.
Like it's just it definitely is it, but it's I don't know. Like I feel like in past systems,
Sure it is, Tom. Sure it is.
you like turn it on and you're like, man, this is new. But like graphically, like we've been playing the new Halo, and it's super fun. It's beautiful. So I'm excited about it. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing, a lot of Series X.
Cool. Let's see who else we got. We got Festive Frank. That's
I
not
thought it would be Ghost of Christmas
Boo.
Frank.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that's fine.
Figgy
Festive
pudding
Frank's
Frank.
fine.
You want some figgy pudding, Frank?
Figgy Pudding Frank.
Wait, why aren't our names like showing in the high score thing with our new names?
Oh my God! Fine.
Yeah.
Hold the conversation at the same
You are
time.
such a tiny Tim.
Yeah.
Tiny Tim
Cough.
Tom.
You're so lame.
All right, Tiny Tim Tom. Your score doesn't fit on the screen anymore. Are you happy?
Make it bigger.
But you're tiny. Make it tinier.
There it is. Yes.
All right, Frank. Festive Frank. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You know, I'm feeling the Christmas spirit.
Good.
Or a heart attack. I don't know, either way.
Similar
Feeling
symptoms.
something. I don't know what it is.
Something's going on.
It's
All right,
acid reflux and candy
Could be
canes.
diarrhea. Could be Christmas spirit.
It's all the figgy pudding. Holly Jolly Hunter, how are you doing today?
Holly
Hey.
Jolly Hunter. I like that one. Been keeping it busy with a lot of like multiplayer games. We got into Back for Blood for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I just picked up Phasmophobia for
Oh, cool.
both of us. And I was supposed to play it with a friend of mine and show up. So I started it by myself, and I made it about 5 minutes before I chickened out and turned it off. Because I got into a room and stuff started falling everywhere, and I started hearing noises.
Yeah.
And then
also, that game is 90% social, but yeah. No, it's pretty fun, especially
so
in
Carly
VR.
and I played it together, and we were murdered by the ghost, which I didn't know was a thing. She like chased us down the stairs and
It'll murder you good.
Yeah, murdered us very good. It's very terrifying. I'm excited. I like it.
Cool. This one was tough. You could just go Christmas, but caroling Carly.
Okay, I'll take that one. I think you're.
That's all right. All right. Was that a
Christmas
candy
caroling
cane? And
Carly.
candy cane
Christmas
Carly
caroling
sounds weird.
Carly.
I mean,
Christmas caroling Carly.
So what's your name then?
Candy cane
if
Carly.
You're not Christmas. Like, then who are you, Chris?
Right.
Like, you
Shouldn't it
know,
be Chris Kringle?
I can't take that one from you.
Oh, real quick. How are you, Chris?
Oh no! It's my turn. Don't
I asked
don't you
first.
take that from me. Chris, though, really, how are you?
Yeah. Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks, Carly.
Great, thank you. I'm glad that I got that question out there before
Hey,
anybody
We'll
else.
see where the point
Definitely.
To
I feel like
consider.
I'm being objectified in some way that people don't actually care about how
We're
I'm doing.
literally
but-
using you for points.
I'm not. I'm just concerned for how my dear friend
Oh,
is
well then
doing.
you won't. I'll take your points then if you don't. If you care about it.
It's not about the points.
I care only about the points.
Oh, Carly got a point already?
Yeah, she asked how I was doing.
Ooh.
She's concerned for him.
Apparently, I don't know.
Concerned
I'll take it.
Carly.
Whatever.
Concerned Carol.
Concerned Carly.
Carol, but I'm just like really like what was it again?
Phasmophobia.
Phasmophobia. I don't like the game as much as Hunter. It was very scary, and I could not sleep afterwards. I didn't know. I was fine with it until I got murdered by the ghost. I didn't know that was an option. I thought they could just scare me.
Yeah, it sends you
and
to the
make things
netherworld.
fall off from the walls and the ceilings, and then all of a sudden, I watched him get murdered, and there was no helping me. Immediately, the ghost came for me afterwards and murdered me too. So
Yeah, she watched the ghost like pick me up,
it was really
kill me,
yeah.
and then my limp, physics body
Oh
just.
my! Did you have the mics on? Because you can yell at them. You're supposed to like say
Well,
their names
so
and
I
stuff.
I was like,
Yeah.
it was Maria Thomas, and I was like, Maria.
Oh, okay,
Like,
no,
Maria, get out here, Maria.
So he said that when we first walked into the house. He's like,
Maria.
And like,
I just
Yeah.
met a girl.
but he
named
when we were actually seeing Paranormal Activity, he was not saying Maria Thomas. He was saying, "Oh God, what?" And like,
What the fuck was
we were,
that?
We were both freaking out, and then he suddenly remembered the name again in the middle of the night when all of the lights in the apartment are off, and like I'm cuddled into bed ready to drift off, and he's like, "Maria Thomas."
Maria Thomas.
Damn! I could not sleep. Yeah.
So, anyways, we're haunted now.
We're haunted.
And but it's a very small apartment, so
yeah. So.
There you go.
it's not
Get
one
yourself
of
some
those
smudge sticks
big
and
17-room villas that they have in Phasmophobia. Where I'm like, I don't even know if we've
with
edited
no
this one
power for some
before.
reason.
Yeah. So. So that's
Yeah.
that.
Good stuff. And Victor, I'm very sorry. The only Christmassy word I could find was from the reindeer catalog. So Vixen Victor, how are you this evening?
Victor.
That's how you're gonna do me? All right, I'll take Vixen Victor.
Vixen
I guess.
Victor,
I
right?
don't- I have mixed feelings.
Yeah, okay.
Mixed feelings, Victor.
Yeah, I'm doing well. I've been playing a little Halo as well. I'm surprised Tom, I guess he still hasn't accepted my friend request. That's fine.
Ooh, awkward. Okay. Well, let's not delve into that here on the podcast, trying to keep the mood upbeat, but okay.
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm just kidding. I haven't sent you one. I don't know what yours is. But yeah, playing a little Halo there.
Cool.
Oh, and I'm terrible at it. So
I don't think I didn't grow up playing Halo. I don't think you really like played the Xbox ones either, did you, Victor?
I did not.
Seems like everyone who's playing Halo is like who has this great nostalgia for it. For everyone else, I don't know. I don't know if that's for us. It's hard to jump into it now because everyone knows how to do these 360 no scopes and stuff, and I
They do. There's a learning curve,
Yeah.
for sure.
Are you playing the campaign?
Oh my lord, no.
Oh, the campaign. We've only been playing the campaign so far, and it's super good.
Oh well.
How does it compare to Halo 5?
I mean, it's a lot different because they did like a kind of an open world style this time.
I literally didn't get a new Xbox during the last Xbox One or whatever because I didn't like Halo 5's campaign. My buddy had it. I played it, and I was like, nah, it's all right. I don't need to get it.
skip an entire system.
No. I think it's awesome.
All right, well, before we get into these games, it's time for our trash talk section.
I like how I'm still Victor on the high score thing because you were too embarrassed to put my made up name.
It's very isolating, Victor, with you just being like, just Victor.
Just Victor. Very isolated.
Hey, Victor, how are you? Yeah, I just figure since we asked when we're concerned about people, I just feel like with you being isolated by Chris and, being like not as much a friend as everybody else, that I'd throw a little concern your way.
That's very sweet of you, Tom. You should get a point for that. I appreciate it.
I'm not gonna
I'm
give
doing
him a point.
well. I got a fireplace behind me, as you see. It's totally real. And,
Totally
here to
real,
have-
totally cool.
Totally cool. Yeah.
You've always been such a bright spot in the fog, much like Rudolph, much like the vixen that you have yet been actually given formally, but
I appreciate that. It's, sometimes reindeer, I don't know if they've been known not to let other reindeer join in all the games. You know what I mean? Usually it's the freaks, like the ones with something kind of noticeably different about them. Most of the time they're cool. But when you're a guy named Vixen, it gets tough.
Yeah, man.
Admittedly so. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. We're here for you. Except for, Chris.
Everyone
Oh,
else.
there he goes.
Yeah. Oh,
There you go.
look
Congratulations.
at that. You apply a little pressure and things get done. All right.
Just gotta know where to push,
It's a squeaky wheel that gets the oil,
Oh my God.
Or the loud cat that gets killed.
I don't think that's the phrase.
It's actually I think that it's a Chinese proverb. It's the hammer that gets the hammer that sticks. Oh no, the nail that sticks up gets hammered down. There we go. Yeah.
Gets hammered down.
Brutally.
Yeah.
Very brutally.
It's like a socialist thing, I think.
Yeah.
Just remember that. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like we've derailed a little bit. So,
What? No, this is...
breaking news. It's trash talk. First, let's talk about the game that we played last time. It was Grand Theft Auto: the Trilogy - the Definitive Edition. That was an experience, and
Tom, would you like to say anything?
Tom, since you couldn't join us, even though you misled us to believe that you would possibly be joining us at the end of the episode, did you have anything you wanted to throw in about the game?
Yeah. I had been playing a lot, and I just had a couple takeaways. That was some things I noticed. It was funny in one part where like the jerseys, like how they just like you could tell that like they slightly modified it from the time before. And then there's
did you
what's
play
another
the
part
game?
that stuck out to me on the boat.
I don't.
There's a part where they're on a yacht and all the characters.
I don't think Tom got to play the game at all.
Yeah, I didn't play the
Oh
game.
my God.
So even if he did show up,
No, these are the
it would've
cutscenes
been
Chris showed
useless.
me at his house.
So Tom doesn't have anything to add. That's great.
People look weird, man.
Yeah,
I watched a YouTube video
saw the
about
same
it.
footage that it was our
Form no
YouTube
opinions of your
video,
own, Tom.
I actually did go back and play some of the original PC release of San Andreas. I didn't realize I owned it. I had it, and I tossed some comparison shots into our YouTube video that we released, so you can see, because Frank boldly claimed that some of them looked just as bad. I disagree, Frank. I went back and I looked at like the scene of the bike riding around, and it's here, I got it on stream right now. Like, it doesn't look that busted. Like, his arm, it's not inverted. But the game, like,
it's still look at that. I mean,
yeah, no,
It doesn't look right.
you play like the going back and playing the 2009 PC release of that game. Like, you realize like, oh, it's not aged that well. Like, I know there's mods out there to make it run in like 4K and stuff, but you play it and you realize how dated it is. And I immediately wanted to go back to playing the definitive edition if I really wanted to play a Grand Theft Auto experience. But what caught me off guard was like some of the cutscenes. I thought they were like scene for scene remakes, but you go back and look at them and like all the angles are different too. Like they chose to like look at different people while the scenes are going on. So I don't know, it gave me this new interpretation of like, what is this game? Did they go through and like manually try and recreate it? Is it not just them pulling from the same scripts? I don't know. I
imagine camera angles had to be they had to do that manually.
Yeah, they definitely did, because the shots of like where the guy's rider's arm is all wacky. They're different shots throughout the entire conversation. So yeah, it's weird. Yeah, Victor, did you get to look at any of the footage? Any thoughts? I know we used to play a lot of GTA back in the day.
We did. To say that I looked at the footage, that is, I wanted that.
Gosh dang it!
What a definitive thing to say for such a definitive edition.
You're also just stretching. All right, that's fine. Anyone else want to throw anything else in there? Any other thoughts on
it?
Team Tom
the
and
cars. We should get a point. We did, to answer your question though, more of your statement. Yes, we did play the game in the past years ago,
with me, Victor.
We drove the cars. And shot at police. Mm-hmm. I remember, and they were
those are things that
we
did.
Good Christian boys.
Yeah, we flew the cars over a ravine,
mm-hmm.
and I imagine you could do the same thing perhaps in this edition,
just more definitively.
Yeah,
more HDly.
More HD,
yeah, probably
shinier, a little bit smoother.
Yeah, we're definitely just retreading old ground here. So moving on.
If anyone else would like to listen to the podcast,
to be fair, I didn't know that it was being recorded. So
that's true. I didn't invite you either. So
you didn't invite me. I never got an invite.
So moving on. Just some other things happening in the gaming world. Since this is mostly, in me and Tom's opinion, a Hades fan podcast, I wanted to mention that they won the first ever Hugo Award for science fiction.
Nice.
For a video game. Yeah, they introduced that category and Hades won because it's a fantastic game and experience. Great writing.
Is it science fiction though? It's more like.
It's fantasy, sci-fi. It's like it's mythology, you know.
I mean, it's a stretch, but okay.
All right.
Is he talking smack about
maybe
Hades?
play the game,
I don't.
never
When
be
I
on
think
the
of Hades, I
podcast
don't think
again.
sci-fi.
So, well, that's what the Hugo Award is sci-fi and fantasy. Yeah.
You would say fantasy, Frank.
You would.
Not a believer in Greek gods, you're right.
No, it's just you did say it just now.
And we've mentioned some things that some games that we've already been playing. Actually, I guess everyone pretty much has. So I guess I'll throw mine in there. I was just going to say that I've been playing a little bit of Battlefield 2042, despite the launch that it's had.
After all that shit talk.
Yeah, I talked a lot of shit, and then it was on sale for $30 like a month after it launched, and I was like, yeah, I want to play it, and I have been, and it's not revolutionary. It's not like a phenomenal kind of new experience like PUBG or Warzone when it first came out. It's not this thing that everyone's got to be doing, but it's the Battlefield experience. It's very chaotic and frustrating, and I think it's interesting. They got the bones there for something good if they get things in order, but I don't know if they ever will. But
Christmas bones,
and and since we're coming in on the new year and there's lots of sales going on out there, I thought I'd throw it out there. Anyone looking forward to any games coming out? Grabbing any sales?
Nope.
No, just happy with what we got. All right.
Everything. I'm just waiting until next year.
I feel like there's too much to play already, but
yeah.
I was a absolutely huge fan. My AIM username may have been a play off of Sephiroth. I was a huge fan of Final Fantasy VII, and I just have not touched the remake at all, and it's been out for a couple of years now.
Finish it?
Well, they added Integrate, which is kind of like an expansion for it, and ported it to PS5 and released it on PC as well. But apparently the PC, it's a theme recently. The port is one of the worst ports of all time, apparently.
No way.
As far as like efficiency and technicality goes. So hoping they iron that out, and I'll finally get to play that game in the coming year. So that's all I was going to say I was looking forward to. Yeah, so let's move into the games that we received. So like I said, we did a garbage gift night where we drew names out of a digital hat and
digital XL hat.
Yeah, it was an XLS file hat, and each person got someone to give a game, and We played it for a bit, and let's just talk about the games that we got. I don't have an order to do this, and does anyone want to volunteer to go first and talk about the game that you got?
Okay, I'll go.
All right, we forced you. Frank?
Oh, you're twisting my arm. Ow, ow.
Frank, tell us what you got.
So, our lovely Holiday Hunter.
I don't know what these are either, by the way. Holly Jolly Hunter?
Our very own Holly Jolly Hunter gave me Roombo First Blood.
Okay.
Which is actually, I don't want to say this, but I actually own this game.
Oh no!
But it's not on Steam.
I even went through your list.
It's a Humble Bundle game. So I own everything Humble Bundle, I think, because they just give it to you for free when you have their monthly thing. But so this is actually the first time I played it, though, so I appreciate it. And at first, I didn't like it.
I'm playing the video you sent me, which is like the intro trailer. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm seeing some gameplay.
It's the whole thing, I think. So you're a Roomba, and people break into your house and they want to steal your stuff.
It's a Roombo, but okay.
Your family has left. Oh
my God, that Roombo just killed a person.
So they kind of sell it as like Home Alone,
hijinks,
but you're a Roomba because you get to set traps.
Well, your goal
there's
is to kill all the bad guys. Oh my God, there's so much blood on the floor.
Yeah, and there's a lot of blood, and then once you actually fully kill them 100%, you can run over them, and you like grind them up into a bunch of meat, and then you collect the meat, and it's there's actually an achievement for when you kill I believe
oh my God,
50 people. It's like the fourth law robotic is what it's called.
Yeah.
And so yeah, what you want to do, which actually you know what, now that I think about it, I should have done the first level again, because there's an achievement for cleaning the house 90%, and once you get more than like one person, there's so much blood and footprints all over the house. I'm like, how can you clean that fast before the level's over? Then I'm like, oh yeah, level 1's only one person. You totally could clean that up in time. So I have to go back and get that achievement. But
it is a mess.
Anyway,
the entire entryway was covered in streaks of blood, and now the vacuum is trying to clean it up.
Chris, if you want to just skip halfway through the video, or maybe even towards the end, because there's so many guys there, the whole house is fucking covered in blood. Like, it's just so much fucking blood. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
At first, I didn't like this game because I was using a keyboard.
Oh, yeah.
And I did not like how it... So once I got the controller going, then I was having some fun, because when everything's slowed down, you're in hacking mode, and you can hack, certain appliances and certain things around the house.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Like, you can shoot the windows out. You can open up the fridge, as the guy did there, and like kind of freeze. You can hit the fans, and the fans will come down and hit the people.
Are you supposed to be a home defense robot, or are you a cleaning robot with a temper?
I believe you're just a cleaning robot who just loves to kill. Loves the thrill of sucking up blood.
It's tasted blood. Gotcha.
And once you fill up with blood, as you can see in the bottom left, he's all red.
Oh my!
You get the Rambo like bandana thing around you. And I personally don't know what that does. Like, I don't know if it makes you stronger or whatever. I don't know.
You look really cool.
Which is fun. There's also sprinklers you can do. You can do the sprinklers twice. You can use the fireplace twice. But as you can see there's just so much blood in that house. It's like, how you fucking clean all that up? I think if you wanted to get S rank, you have to have it pretty clean. So I guess the idea there would be to try to contain everyone to one room, and then because the timer doesn't start until the last person's killed, so theoretically, if you just save one person, you can try to clean up all the blood of the other people, and then finally kill the last person, and then clean up their blood to try to get an S rank.
Okay, so he's turning the sprinkler on. He's making the burglars slip on the floor. Yeah. Wow, they're really flying up in the air. The physics are pretty wild in this game.
Yeah, and it's also fun if there's certain areas where you can make them slip on the sprinkler and then shoot a window at them. So as they're flying in the air with the sprinkler, the window just smashes into them.
Wow.
You get a 2-for-1 kind of hit. You just saw him pushing them into a fan. So, yeah, there's a lot of fun you can do with it. It's a very short and simple game. I believe there are 6 main levels, and then there's like 3 bonus levels. Like
God, I wish my Roomba worked this well.
Exactly right.
Just keeps bonking into a table and get trapped under chairs. This one's good shit done.
If you do get, this guy's pretty good. He hasn't actually, I don't think he's been hit any time during this video. But if you actually get like kind of stuck, they like stomp on you. Yeah, but overall, fun game. It was very enjoyable. Thank you so much, Hunter.
Oh, you're welcome. It just seemed like something you would enjoy. I went through hundreds of games, just like scrolling through Steam's $5 bin trying to find something. And I was specifically looking for ones with like mixed reviews and whatnot, but
I can see how if someone paid a lot of, I don't know what the price for, but if you paid like $10 for this, it's short enough where I can feel like people get upset by that.
Yeah.
On sale? It's fun.
I think I would enjoy the killing part, and then the cleaning up part, I'd be like, what the? It's like it's too much of a different...
You only have a minute really to do that, though.
Oh, it's timed after that, so you just do as much as you can.
Timed at the end, yeah.
Okay. All right, that's not so bad.
Yeah, so that's what kind of makes it comical. As you can see, the house. There's no way you can clean all that up in 30 seconds. Even if you tried, there's no way you could do it.
You don't get to see like the owner's reaction when they come home.
No, you never do. Yeah, there's now they are, I believe, releasing. I think they called it a sequel, but it kind of looks like just a better version of this game where they probably add more levels of complexity.
All right, Roombo First Blood. You guys, any other thoughts on Roombo First Blood before we move on? Okay.
Wow, thanks everybody.
I didn't know you meant like all of us.
What a captive audience.
No, I actually thought it looks really fun. Like I think this category. That's why I was saying we should do this again, because like everything in here just seems like a novel idea, and I think that's it's cool. It's cool to play a thing where I'm like, oh, I've never done anything like that. It's cool.
Yeah, I can definitely see this like being sitting on the couch and be fun to play with a controller for like 10 minutes if it's on in a Game Pass or something. But yeah, as far as being dedicated to this game, I'm not sure about. But it seems like a fun experience.
You don't want a Roombo tattoo?
I mean, with the bandana is pretty cool. The Rambo bandana is pretty neat. All right, any volunteers for the next game?
I'll go.
All right, Tom.
Just why not?
Yeah, why not? It's only Christmas in 2021 once. Caroling Carly. She gave me Crypt of the Necro Dancer. Mm-hmm. It is I believe I'm saying this right, it's a rogue light. So you die, but when you die, you come back to this kind of like home screen that we're at here, and there are ways to permanently upgrade and like practice. And the idea is that you go back into the dungeon stronger than you were previously. It's ripping off Hades.
And the primary game mechanic here, you'll see at the bottom of the screen, is there's kind of this heartbeat pulsing to the beat of the music. And if you move with the beat, as I'm doing now, then everything's fine and dandy. But let's say I try to like rush and just like smash forward. We'll see it's saying missed. Mm-hmm. Those delays, like I'm taking like long stutters, can be really devastating in the game. Sure. So you need to be going with the beat. Yeah, so you gotta stay on the beat. The music's really, really good. That's I think one of like the big highlights is that Grace and I was playing, and Grace and I the entire time were literally just like dancing while we were doing it. It hits. This is my favorite part. This is what, Chris, can you hear him?
Is he like the item vendor? He's like doing opera singing, techno opera singing.
Only when you go in the room with the shopkeeper, he'll like kind of sing like operatically along with the beat of the music, and it's just fun. Like it's really quirky and fun. But what I like about it is, and I was joking before about being with the theme of music, is like it matches the tempo, I would say, of my stupidity. I feel like when you are learning a game, if it's just like brutally difficult in the beginning, sometimes it can get to a point where you're like maybe not having fun, You start out, I feel like there's not that much direction, so you're learning to move to the beat, and that kind of feels a little like wonky at first, and then when you start getting used to it, it's just this really rewarding experience of it feels like you're doing it right, Mm-hmm. And that's a really cool feeling. And like at every run that you do, you're learning, I think, how to do it better right at that moment. And I think in that kind of Hades way of kind of like keeping your interest by always presenting something new each run. Cool. There was a game I played that was kind of like Wild West themed, that was a roguelite. I played for a little while and got really bored of it and didn't like it. And it was just the pace at which they were introducing new stuff was not matching maybe, like I said, like the tempo of my stupidity. In this, I felt like I was making mistakes and then going back and learning from those mistakes and feeling rewarded for learning. And like those little, so there's like these little monkeys that you saw, and like they don't hurt you, but they hold you in place. So that room was a terrifying room because like I walked in and like 2 monkeys grabbed me in a row, and I just got beaten to death by this like big guy. But like I've made pretty far runs just by learning from everything. And there was like some enemies where there's these big dragons, and when you see them, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna die, and there's nothing I can do about it. And then I got to this place where I was killing dragons. You just had that really good feeling of like, man, I'm doing it. do it, man. And I feel like that's, I don't know, I just feel like that's when like roguelites hit their stride, is when you feel like you're getting better at the same rate that the game is showing you new content. And that's a really hard balance to strike. But I think with these games, like maybe it correlates to like how good you are at gaming. Like I think maybe you guys, if you were to pick this up, you probably get much further, much faster. And who knows, maybe I don't know, maybe it'd be too quick for you and you'd be kind of like, I'm bored. But for me, I was getting punished enough in the beginning that every time I succeeded, I was like, yes. Yes, like
it seems like
dragons, you know, and so
it seems like the strategy of having to do it to the beat is like knowing other characters' movements. In like Hades, you know, like how their move sets and how they're going to attack. But with this, you're kind of planning it out. Like, okay, well, I have like 2 beats to get over there and do a swing and then move away. And that seems like it's an interesting gameplay mechanic. And also, they say you can use your own MP3s, which, I mean, it's 2021. I don't know how many of us have like our favorite albums MP3s on our computer, but it's a cool idea.
There was who's the guy in Hades who he does the boat? The
River Styx guy.
Yeah, the River Styx guy. Yeah. What's his name?
That's
I thought
Carmine.
You know him. Yeah, Carmine. The first
Charon.
time. Okay, so I remember the first time in Hades when I fought Charon, he kicked the ever-loving shit out of me.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Now, when that fight would present itself, if I was in a good run, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, bring it on," because I know how to beat him.
Yeah.
You know. And the first boss in this game, I've gotten to 2 different bosses. It doesn't seem like, and it was very much the same feeling of like, oh no, and then they killed me.
Right.
And but it was fun. Like I didn't feel. It just did a good job of like not making me feel like, oh, okay, well, I'm not good enough for this. It was like, I'm gonna learn and I'm gonna get you. I'd say anybody should pick it up. Like no offense to Garbage Game Night, but it's kind of a little bit of a routine for me at the end of the night to uninstall the game.
Cleanse your system. Okay. All right.
And
okay.
I
buy some of these things for you as a gift, but okay.
And 100% Crypt of the Necrodancer. I'm like, I was, the moment I was playing it, I was like, oh, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it, and it's gonna be one of those things that like, when I have time to play a game, like it's one of the ones I'm gonna seek out to play, and that kind of like, I don't know if it's wrong, that 8-bit style normally isn't something that like I jump to, and for some reason in this, like I felt like it fit it so well and loved it, and yeah, I just think it's pretty great. I don't know, I've got nothing negative to say about it at all. I think it was a ton of fun, and everyone here should give it a try if they have the opportunity to.
So recommended, and so it's like $3.99.
Thank you very much, Carolyn Carley.
You know, I specifically wanted to give you a good game because I know I pick on you sometimes on here, and I had some good sabotage games in mind, but I thought I'd send you a nice Christmas present. So
it was very nice. It was super nice.
Cool.
Wondering how the rest of the games are going to go now, because I'm not sure if they're going to be as enjoyable. Maybe we'll see. See.
You know what else was cool about it is I, for myself, probably would have skipped over that on a list over and over and over and over again, and I never would have picked it for myself to play ever. And now I'm gonna keep it, and like I'm looking forward to playing it again. So it's kind of a cool.
My heart grew
it's a
3
cool
times that day.
In this, I think this opportunity to see even the Roomba thing was something that I was like, oh man, like it's kind of cool. It's kind of neat. So I like I said, I like this this format. It was cool.
Cool.
That's it for me. Sorry about all the technical issues. Life is like a roguelite in a way.
You die and start
sometimes
over.
You die and then you come back with knowing more.
I feel like I die like socially, you know, like yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Big into reincarnation.
Any other people want to fall on that sword? Do the next one?
Yeah, let's get this over with.
Okay.
Let's just do this.
I don't know what's gonna happen here. You just you seem terrified.
You're gonna regret this entire assignment.
Okay. Oh
Okay.
my
I'm
gosh!
sorry,
I
Chief. Carly, no,
just looked at the video link you sent me. Okay.
You're not
There you go.
sorry to me.
You asked for
You're
a
not gonna
video.
apologize to me.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and pull that video up, Chris, and I'll introduce the name of this game that
Do
Frank.
you know the rating of this game?
There's no rating, Chris. This game is very. Oh, it's kind of new, I think. Right? Came out in.
Well, is it on Steam?
2020.
Yeah, it's on Steam.
What is it like? Super racy? Is that?
Oh,
well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's just jump
There,
right
you can,
in.
okay.
You know.
There's
Hold
a
on,
censor
can I-
mode. Okay.
I don't
Wait.
know if I can
No,
show
I've
this
got all
on
that pulled up.
stream.
Okay.
Don't take my thunder.
I wasn't
I
gonna.
got
I was
this.
gonna offer you more thunder.
You know, okay.
I didn't know you had
I
the
had
thunder
it.
already.
I got the thunder.
Okay.
So like I was not happy to talk about this at all, and then something just kind of clicked, and I kind of had a case of the F-its, just like, okay, let's do this. We're gonna talk about this game. It is called Sex with Stalin.
Frank.
Yeah. Everybody give
Frank.
Frank.
Okay, so I'm just gonna read the intro on Wiki before I start talking about my firsthand experience with Sex with Stalin. For Sex with Stalin is a 2020 comedy parody dating sim video game developed by Boobs Dev. In Sex with Stalin, the player character, a contemporary Russian, travels back in time and has several sexually charged conversations with the former Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin. In addition to being a parody of dating simulators, the game also functions as a critique of modern-day Russian society. The game received mixed reviews. According to Wiki, according to Google, it has overwhelmingly positive reviews, so I guess I didn't bother to look at what Steam had it as.
Depends who you ask. Oh, it's censored right now. Okay.
Yeah. They're censors, Chris.
Okay.
I double check. I bought it for myself first. I
Wow.
played it a little bit, and I said, you know what?
No,
I think
played
this
a
could
lot
work.
of it. I checked your hours.
No, I just.
He's got 300 hours in the game.
Pull up my Steam account.
There's only like 2 hours total of actual gameplay.
Rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Classic Frank.
You know, you could just watch a YouTube video of all the endings.
Frank explicitly said too that he had worse games in mind for other people.
Yeah.
Actually, there was one I was gonna do for Carly. It was another dating one, but it was furries. But that one was extremely pornographic. Like there was like not one part you could show. It was just like it was all bad.
It
And
turns
most of,
out that
there were
the
actually
best-
several furry ones, and they were all very pornographic.
So I'm now realizing that I
I
have
would
the.
rather have Stalin.
I'm now realizing that I have the adults only filter on my Steam account, so that kind of stuff doesn't come up. Because when I clicked on it on Steam, like nothing came up, and it just the soundtrack, and I had to click into it to view adult only content, and that shields me, I guess, from the what Steam
there's
has
so many,
very much
Chris, there's so many
become.
worse games out there.
This
Not
doesn't
games
mean
you can
anything,
stream, though.
Like the internet is a bottomless hole of evil.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
like
Steam
of
didn't
course
used to
there's
be that way,
worse
though.
out there, but where is this on this?
Yeah.
it could
Okay,
still
real
be-
quick, Chris. In this part you're watching now, there's a part where he goes in a time machine thing. You have to fast forward past that because you do see this guy's dong. Even if you do have it censored on, they still show you his penis. So
Well, that's a heck of a censor,
There's a lot
isn't
of
it?
that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of everything in this game. I'm traumatized.
Wow.
a lot
Would
of
you-
Stalin boobs.
Would you like to press any charges, Carly?
I
or
will ask you
Formally?
again at the end of my review. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and start talking about the game. So immediately,
Yeah, continue.
You are a Russian time traveler that has gone back to speak with Stalin.
It also, I just want to let you know that it does sound like you're on the verge of throwing up. But
I might be.
So sorry, I interrupted.
A little bit. It's really hard to talk about this. This game is terrible. Okay, so you go back in time to go talk to Stalin because you're trying to rewrite history. I guess you're trying to fix some things, but you're not there to like stop him. You're just kind of shooting the shit, I guess. I don't really know what the point is, but you're going back in time, and out of all the things you could do to prevent travesty, to change the world, you are just naked in Stalin's office talking to him. You show up naked, and his immediate response is to assume that you're there to R him, I guess. I think that's what the kids are saying. I don't know. YouTube, whatever the YouTube slang is, I haven't kept up with it. You're like, no, I'm not going to do that. And he's like, oh, okay, you're just here to murder me then. Whew, good. And I was like, no, I'm not there to murder you either. We're just here to talk.
Because he looks really flirty in the video we're watching.
It's not, so it doesn't start off flirty. It starts off like, so he assumes you're there to do that to him, and then...
No, he's watching the Russian version.
Oh.
Yeah. Because you can be, the whole game's in English and in Russian.
So then he goes on to a series of, like, Stalin trivia questions, just trying to get you to figure out if you can prove that you're from the future. So he's just like asking questions about himself, assuming that you're like a Stalin expert, that you've studied his whole life in the future, and that's why you've come back to talk to him. And you answer all the questions, and then the last one is like really weird. It's how he lost his virginity, because that's a normal series of questions for,
whom among us
historical
doesn't know
figures.
how Stalin...
We all just know that. By the way, he was 16. It was a stranger in a haystack. So I do know that now. If that's correct, I didn't bother to Google it. I don't care.
That's what this dev told you anyway.
That's what the game said it was. So yeah, let's see. My
so it is
notes are frantically written here, so I'm going through them. Let's see. He eventually believes you that you're from the future, but he still doesn't believe that you're not there to kill him. So he wants to make sure you're not smuggling weapons. So he asks you to bend over and cough. Yeah, and then I'm waiting to watch Frank's reaction in the camera here. But when you do that, the camera pans back up to his face, and he's wiping things off of his face as if you just projectile. Yeah, this game, Frank, why? Just why? And then...
Right.
It's terrible. It's the worst.
All right. Okay.
So then...
Okay, Carly, but what happens at the end?
Frank, which ending? There's several.
Exactly.
Okay.
There's multiple endings. Okay.
Okay, so
it's a choose your own adventure sex with Stalin.
On my first run through, because I did go through it a couple of times trying to see the different endings, and I gotta be honest, I got over it really quickly. But it says here, I conversed with him for a while. We talked about socialism, capitalism, all of the isms. Then he started talking about genetically modifying humans, very casual conversation about that. He wanted to clone an entire population of perfect humans. The conversation not getting sexy at all whatsoever. And then then the game randomly presents you, like it's trying to say, oh, okay, you've not had any sexy talk this whole time. We gotta hurry up and get this game sexy so that you can reach your objective and the game is over. It's very short. So then it forces you into a conversation about medication that is going to be available in the future, and it alluded to Viagra is what I think it was trying to get at. I wasn't going to give it that. I chose the purposefully wrong answers because I did not want to have sex with Stalin.
You were trying to choose your own adventure.
And, somehow he goes on to pledge free healthcare to the USSR and then murders me. So I don't know. This game, it's all over the place. We talked about anthrax. In one of the endings, he's an alien, and he births a Stalin, a baby Stalin clone, but it's a small Stalin, but like a full-grown human, just small. Births it inside of you, and it shows everything.
Oh, like with the mustache.
And then it bursts through your body. Oh my god.
Oh, okay, like an alien. Yeah.
In another ending, was fighting demons and then became one, and he was able to summon other demons, and there was some sort of paranormal phenomenon. That achievement was funny. That was called Stalion. Yeah, that was the most enjoyable part of this, was that one pun, I think. Yeah.
That was the highlight.
And gosh, I'm not the same person I was for this game.
Okay, real quick. So this is how my experience with the game went. I saw this, and I was like, "This isn't really. It's kind of for Carly, kind of not." You know.
I'm sorry. No, wait. What part of that was kind of for Carly?
Yeah, let's get back up.
Because of how the idea of it, I was like, this is kind of like Dream Daddy, but it's Dream Commie Daddy. You know.
Can we isolate that clip of Dream saying? I'm not going to repeat it. I don't want to be isolated saying that.
So I was like, maybe let me try it out. So it was only I think like $2 or something. I was like, let me test it out. So I do
so
it.
You tried it out, and you're like, yeah.
So my first run through, we talked about pop culture and the influence of that, and then he became a rapper, and then he was like the original rapper or something, you know. And then the second one, I accidentally chose to kill him, but he's too strong and fast. So he kills me, and then it makes him like a really extreme ruler, and he like basically just keeps like killing people and everything. And then he ends up getting backstabbed by someone. I don't know. So I went two rounds, and I was like, I think this will work. This will be kind of fun. And then it's maybe a little scarring, because if you read the reviews, a lot of people say you actually can't have sex with Stalin, And I was like, well, maybe it's a little bit more subversive than you think. And I don't know. It's
I'm shocked at like the rendering that is the graphics. It's still like in a 3D space, and he's kind of moving around and talking. And it's like fairly high res for what it is. Like it's
you haven't. I don't think
high texture quality
on any of these playthroughs.
I don't know that I'm allowed to do that, so I'm not going to bother.
The rapping one you can.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you can find out if someone's clipped that yet.
I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope nobody clipped any of the endings.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
He doesn't have a shirt on, but he's got pants on when he's rapping. But yeah, it's funny. So even if you have the censored version on, theoretically it'll blur out the genitals. Mm-hmm. But if you watch the prologue, where it basically explains this guy's backstory, it still shows you his penis. At one point, I'm like, the censored thing is on. It shouldn't show. But that's life. Sometimes a couple dicks slip through.
When you're downloading a game from, I'm sorry, what was it?
Boob
Dev.
That may have, I guess I didn't
just
see that part.
imagine like his wife walking through that door and just like seeing this.
What Stalin's
I was playing it. Diana was on the couch. Like,
oh,
what are you playing? I was like, you don't want to know. You don't want to know what's going on over there. If she hears this, she go, "What'd you?" Yeah, I'm right.
He's like, it's research.
It's for the it's for this podcast.
It's for Chris.
Wow, it's for Chris, but probably for Carly.
It's hot. It's hot in these rhinos.
Wow. That took a turn from those two enjoyable games.
Yeah.
Thank you, Carly,
things.
and I'm sorry, Carly.
Yeah, I think everybody should
After Carly picked
apologize
such a nice game for Tom, Frank did this to you. Wow.
No good deed goes unpunished.
Yeah, I
apparently.
apologize. I should have sent the furry ones. You're right.
No.
Frank, not the lesson. Not the lesson.
Those. Once again, those were so. I mean, it was like this one. There's like you really don't see a whole lot, but those one,
Honestly, I genuinely forgot about the dark side of Steam. Like I've just had the adult only filter on, and not the reverse adult only filter. It's where I see the things that aren't adult only. Not I only see adult only things.
Good clarification.
Yes, good to clarify. I see this and I'm like, what? How could this be on Steam? I just don't. Yeah. I don't live on the edge like you do, Frank.
You kept
I can't
saying
have my Steam open.
I just understood. Like you kept saying adult only, and I'm thinking to myself, like the mature rating, but there's adults only is above that.
Well, there's just a filter on Steam.
There's no official ratings.
Yeah, because they're not like releases that get graded. So if you have the filter on Steam, you'll just never see these things. But I don't know if it comes on default now. I think it does come on by default, and you have to opt in to see the mature games. I think that was kind of their compromise to listing these kinds of things on Steam.
Yeah.
Frank, how did you find this game? I'm just curious.
I get recommended a lot of bad games, and because I have that filter off, half of them are like there's so many like just really shitty $1 hentai games, you know. And then this popped up. Actually, I think actually maybe this recommended to me when it first came out, and I actually put it on a list for possible garbage game nights. Like if I got enough reviews or anything.
That's probably because you play so much Soviet jumping game, right?
Yeah, actually, maybe that's why I recommended it.
Yeah, Soviet jumping game, which is a fun battle arena, Super Mario Brothers style jumping game.
Actually, I played that the other day with Arthur. He was kind of digging it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't show him this game. I didn't show him this other game.
Did he appreciate the subversiveness of copyright infringement that is that game?
No, he didn't understand.
Okay, it was cool that it jumps. Okay.
Yeah, he was excited to see things move around on the screen. He's really stoked about that. And then I gave him the controller, you know, and he just like smashing buttons.
Mm-hmm. Give him the controller. It's not plugged in. I know.
Yeah, well, no, it's I don't care. I give him plugged-in controllers. I said, I dare you. Try to buy something. He almost did, actually, at Alfredo's brother's house. He got so close to buying like a $60 game on PlayStation. Like I just ripped the controller out of his hand right before the final X press to confirm buy. You know, but whatever.
All right. Well,
once again, I'm sorry, Carly.
I'm wondering if we should change the order. Should that have been last? Should have been first? But not today. Not this Christmas.
Did we establish, Chris? Is there a prize for this evening? Have you? Because I want to know now if it has to do with the games that we played. Because like I'm gonna throw this because I don't want any sort of 3D printing.
You don't want a weird Stalin print.
You're in the lead, Carly.
All right.
Yeah, you're in the lead.
A bust of Stalin.
You should.
You got to be one of those, Chris, right?
Yeah,
I think we should give Carly
a
point for going through that.
Sure. Yeah. We'll give Carly a point. Here's the thing about this.
I was half expecting for her to say no. You need to send another one.
Going into this evening, I thought that I'll keep track of scores, and in the end, I'll say that there's actually no prize. That it's the gift you guys got from each other. It was with you all along. But now I realize that the gift that Frank got Carly, it was not a gift at all. It was a curse.
Some would say a curse.
A curse. Yeah.
So now I don't know what to do.
It was scarier than Phasmophobia.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Okay. We're just gonna move on and pretend that didn't happen and address it truth there. I'll get you a.
Carly was never on this
I would be
episode.
fine with that. Actually, I'm kind of scared this is gonna come back to haunt me.
Yeah, it'll be a gift card to Talkspace. Good for 3 free sessions. But you haven't won yet though, so don't settle in yet. All right. Next game we want to do.
Now that Tom's done talking about his game, let's move on to the next game.
Thank you for that perfect segue.
Just if you need that to edit in later, you can.
I'll use that to edit in. Perfect.
I also was nice. I was like Carly. I tried to.
No, you did good. No, just because we're cutting out Carly's section, that'll be a good segue.
Carly gave
Hunter
Tom
saying,
a gift, but nobody pulled Carly's name. It was crazy. I don't know. Your Excel spreadsheet.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Any other? Anyone want to jump in? I can do mine if you guys aren't eager.
Next.
You want to go? Go for it.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you got. Yes, I know what you got. Yes, because I gave you your gift. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was you.
Yeah.
It was me all along.
Thank you. The game is called Fuzz Dungeon, and I'm pretty sure immediately after I got it, I messaged you and was like, "This better not be some fucking furry shit."
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
And it's not.
It's just Frank's other game.
It's way worse. Okay, yeah, I hear you. Now you can broadcast
I haven't played it at all.
No, actually,
I can broadcast it.
You didn't play it at all?
I haven't played it at all.
Oh, okay. So I don't really know how to describe it. It is really just a fever dream with these very seemingly random mini games. You're in, and I feel like the more I try to explain it, the more I'm going to just have to explain more. So, I'll start off. You walk into this world. It's crazy colors. Nothing really makes sense. It's all kind of it looks like someone's idea of a world. And I think it's like an art project or something of a game. As you can see, here's just like a random.
It looks horrifying.
Yeah, no, it's very weird. It's very like Fever Dream-esque. And the first thing you do is walk into a world and walk up to something called the Sasquatch Sex Amulet. And when you touch it, it disappears and it erases the world. But by erases it, it just like everything in the world has like this weird color pattern to it. And you have to go around to each part of the world, click on something, play a little mini game, you get like a trophy, and then you just keep moving on. And I'm not really sure what you do beyond that, because that's like as far as I've gotten. I'm still in the first world, just kind of going around finding things. This is your character. You're kind of like I don't know, what would you call that? Like a rabid, sickly chihuahua creature with hair. Well, no, I guess you got ears.
You got high heels.
Yeah, you got high heels. You've got these weird gloves on. You kind of have this saunter that you do as you walk around. Oh yeah, what you're watching now on the stream is a lot of the mini games. Even the mini games are in like really different animation styles. And I'll be honest, when I first played it, I was just like, I don't know what the fuck this is. It's really dumb. It's just like a platform for playing mini games with no story. Everything that you look at is like pretty unique, which I really enjoy. Like I don't know. The more I play it, the more I just really enjoy looking at everything. And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. For instance, I'm talking to this guy and he's saying the ashes of nectarines are all in a velvet jar, suspended in the liquid of August, 6,000 fields of soy scorched. So it kind of feels like, what does Reddit have where they let like AI make posts and stuff, and it's just like, it kind of feels like that. Oh, I found something that none of the buttons...
It means nothing and everything.
Yeah, none of the buttons have human words on them. It's all like in alien speak, so I don't even know. I just know that green is good, red is, no, I don't want to do this. There's symbols everywhere. There's apparently a lot of hidden things that you can interact with that I haven't even... And there's a lot of themes of kind of like anti-technology, which I thought was funny. There's a whole bunch of off-brand Alexa units, but they still refer to them as Alexas, and they just like they're just there in the game, and at one point you have to like pick one up and bring it somewhere. The characters say random things that don't make a whole lot of sense. One of them was talking about Ghost of Tsushima at one point, which is why I thought you got the game for me, because you know how much I love that, and you're just but now that I know that you didn't even play it, he was just talking about...
I've seen gameplay of it.
Yeah, he was talking about like Ghost of Tsushima and how like the evolution of video games and whatnot, and there's also pictures from the internet and videos from the internet just randomly put in here. I still don't really know like the point, other than just exploring, and anytime you come across a mini game, you just play the mini game, you win, you unlock that portion, and you move on to the next one. And there's trophies, time limits.
I think it's just a vibe.
It really is, and like I'm all for the vibe. Like again, when I first started it, I was like, what it when I first started, I think I told Carly, it felt like a game that was trying to be absurd for the sake of being absurd, and not absurd in like attempting to be artistic. Just like, oh look, it's
so random.
Instead of chairs, it's potatoes, and instead of gravy, it's hammers. But this one, there seems to be like a consistency to the art form. The more I play it, the more like a labor of love that it feels like, where this guy was just like, I have all this weird, bizarre artistic ideas in my head, and I just want to put them all into one game, and I'm just going to make some mini games so that you have something to do between just exploring kind of my virtual world that I've created for you. It actually reminds me of Tomato Way, but done much better.
Right.
Like, the graphics are better, and I think it's even more weird and wild and fun, and just fun to look at. I think that's where this game gets me the most, is it's just really fun to look at.
Yeah.
It seemed like there was next to no depth at the beginning. Oh, and look at that. He's got eyes for nipples.
Nice.
Oh, he's got a whole face. And he's just sitting in a chair, just like chillaxing.
That's nuts, man.
And here's a bone shape that's just floating in front of a hole in a wall. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm for it, though.
Don't know what it is, but I'm here for it.
Instead of just eating each game at the end of the night, I wipe my computer and reset to out of box because I hate these games so much. But this one, I'm going to put on the extended drive, so that when I do wipe the computer tonight, because I also wipe Audacity and all of your voices and any communication that anytime
that we talked.
But I'm gonna keep the game, I think, and it's just like it's in the same way that Power Wash Simulator was a surprise like vibe, if you will. This game has a similar feel to it. Like, I might just put on some music. The game's got good music itself, but like put on some music, turn the lights off, and just kind of explore. Like, very fun.
All right. Yeah, I saw it, and I saw how bizarre it was, and thought, I think Hunter would enjoy this, and it's been on my list for a little while to check out, and I thought it was a good fit for garbage gift night.
Yeah,
so I'm glad you've enjoyed it.
With the fuzz in the title, I was like, good God, I swear, because I think.
No fur included.
Yeah. I think I'm done with that.
All right. Let's see. What do you, Frank? Do you want to jump in there, or Victor, or you want me to do mine?
I already did mine. Remember, I was the first one.
You were the first one.
It
I'm
was
so sorry.
forgettable.
I'm so sorry.
Remember, I had the really cool Roomba game that Hunter gave me. So
Yeah, you already had.
I'm
sorry. I besmirched his lovely girlfriend by giving her a horrific pornographic game.
Can you imagine, like, if we were sitting around like a tree and like giving gifts, and you're like doing it like this, and you were like, "Hey, like Frank, I got you this." It's like this really thoughtful, creative game, and then it comes to Frank, and he's like, "Hey."
I left mine at home. I forgot my game. No, it's right there. It's right behind you.
Yeah, no, I have no shame. I would do a bad game.
Victor, what do you think? You want to go first, or should I do the game that you got me?
No. I'll go. I was gonna go after Carly to try, because
we just needed some breathing room,
Oh dear God, Frank, I'm sorry. I'm disappointed. I am disappointed. I expected nothing less, but I still
came up disappointed.
To just say that. Yeah. No, my game was from Tiny Tim Tom, I believe is his name tonight.
Nailed it.
And it's called Framed. It is a noir type game. It's like a puzzle comic book type of deal. Does that sound accurate, Tom?
Yeah.
Have you played this game? Yeah.
No. I knew of. I've seen things of it before, and it kind of just like faded in my memory, and then I saw it on this list, and I was like, man, like this, I've always wanted to play this, and it maybe be a really cool thing to do as a gift.
Ooh, implied nudity.
Click out of this.
That's what he's into. Implied nudity.
My favorite.
He's a Mormon. He's like, ooh.
Bubbles.
Yeah, bubbles, yeah.
So this is the game here. So it's, as you can see, and for those of you listening at home, just use your eyes. You are framed, presumably framed. Yes, I don't know if you're a gumshoe of some sort, but you do have a fedora and a trench coat. And a lady accomplice or partner. It's unclear at this point in my journey in the game, but she hands you some sort of note, and you have a briefcase, and you smoke cigarettes, and you run away from the police. Not only do you run away from the police, but you beat up the police a lot in this game.
What we're looking at, is a scrapbook with a bunch of pictures, but is this how you actually play the game, or is it like you click into it and you play a mission?
Yeah, so I'll show you. This is one. So as you can see, it plays like a comic.
Oh, cool. It kind of goes across the panels.
Yep, panel. And then so you're like, oh no, that didn't work. I ran into the room and then the cop pointed a gun at me. So if I switch the panels around, let's see if this will work.
So like you're reordering the scenes.
Yeah. So it's really cool. Like I like the concept a lot. It's like a storyboard come to life.
Yeah.
But there are times, see, you get, pointed at the gun here. There are times where it gets very frustrating because let me go to one where I got embarrassingly stuck for a long time. Because some are simpler to give you a little breathing room. They're kind of like, yeah, that was probably really hard, right? And you're like, yeah, no, I don't want to admit that. They're like, here's an easy one where you flip one panel and you fall in a garbage truck or something. But this here, when you become the lady, and I don't know if it's because I don't know what it's like to walk in a lady's shoes, both physically and metaphorically. But wait, this isn't the one.
Well, that cop is sliding down drainage pipes.
Yeah. They all love their job. I gotta tell you, they all put their life on the line, sometimes unnecessarily. This isn't the one here. Hold on. You know those little plastic game puzzles you'd get for like $1 in the store where you switch the little cubes around to make a picture?
Sure, like a sliding puzzle, yeah.
Is that what it is? Yeah. I was always terrible at
sliding
those
tile
as
puzzles.
A kid.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot like that in here, except with like that and memory and things don't always go the way you think they're gonna go. So you run down the street, as you can see, and it's like, oh no, there's a cop, so we're gonna have to change that around. And I got stuck on here for so long.
Wow, you can rotate them, okay.
Yeah, you can rotate some of them. But then you have to remember, which one does which, and you're like, maybe this one will work. And then you have to rewatch it every time. So it's like, oh good, I got past there. Nope, I got into the flashlight again. The cops got me. So I guess I'm gonna have to do the whole thing all over again and try, maybe this will work, and on, and you have to keep rewatching your failure like some sort of noir purgatory.
There's a fucking really cool sax starts playing.
Yeah, skiddly bop, and you're just
I'm trying to figure out
again.
Yeah, this one.
What's that?
So I was just going to explain for the listeners.
Like the first time you went from up to down, and then you went straight across the panels. So it's kind of confusing to see what the order is.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to describe this. Geez, there's smaller tiles and bigger tiles, and you try and guess, like, if you're reading this like a comic book, which one would you read first? It's like, well, you go left to right, but there's a smaller one, so I guess you'd go down and then to the bigger panel. Like it's like there's some intuitive, like, how would you read a comic book, which I've always been terrible at. Like I'm just really bad at like picking which panel to read next, and I'm like, oh wow, I definitely missed something. That should have read that smaller one first and missed some dialogue. And so you got to do that while your character is moving across the panels, and you don't appear necessarily where you think you would too. Like you exit a panel on the bottom and like, I'm gonna go to the next panel, and you don't come out of where you think you would. It's interesting.
Yeah. Interesting is a good word for it. Extremely frustrating is what I found at times, because you can, and then when you rotate and it just changes everything. One little rotation of a panel and you're like, you can get almost there, and then it's like, no, that first thing, it's like math. It turned into algebra or whatever, where it's like you missed one sign at the beginning, and even though you worked on this for the entire page, you got it all wrong because of that one sign. So
do I get any credit for that? No, you fail. You get to do the class again.
Oh, that decimal place you put in the wrong spot like halfway through.
It's true. Dang. It's like this. It just dawned on me what this similar feeling was like, and it's like that. It's like when I would fail math classes. So, but at least there's pictures, And the guy shoots at you. You fall off a roof, but then another one where the gun jam. I don't know. It didn't really work like a real gun. This one was confusing too, because for those listening, you're jumping across like a billboard that says Love Shack. And you would think, well, if I order the tiles in the right way where it spells it out, obviously like a billboard, I'll get no, that's not the case. You have to
Just
really
randomized.
confuse it and mess it up.
Does it end up spelling anything logical at all?
I don't think so.
Oh, wow.
I don't remember, but it's like I don't even.
That is confusing
recall.
because you'd be like, how the fuck did he traverse this area?
Yeah, like how big is this sign and what is happening? So there was some of that, but as far as the concept, I like it. I mean, I like the silhouette. I think they did a good job with the art design, and I would be interested to see where it goes because like I like noir things. I thought that I really appreciated Tom's pick for me because I thought you put thought into it, and then I thought maybe he didn't. Maybe he just.
I did. I'm sure much like Frank, I thought about who my recipient was, and
don't compare yourself
you chose
to Frank.
not
Don't do
to
it.
punish him.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but like if we were to list like who here is like a gamer, I think you and I are maybe on like we could pick up like a difficult game and like master it quickly. I feel like everyone else would do it. No, I don't mean as a dig because I'm applying it to me too. Like there's just so for me.
Oh yeah, I know.
Doing something
Bottom tier.
for me doing something like this is like I thought it was good for you because like intellectually it seemed like that's what it was asking for was like for you to kind of just engage with the concept as opposed to being like, oh hey, how are your first person shooting skills? You know what I mean? Like what was it? What was the crouch jump shit that I couldn't do? You know what I mean? Like
Bunny hopping.
So I don't know. It felt like it's kind of side skirted that, and that it could be a game that
And you asked me what he was really self-conscious about, and I told you that he wasn't good at math, so you worked that in there, and that was really good.
Yeah.
What did you say, Chris? I'm sorry. Could you repeat?
Nothing.
Could you say that one more time?
You're great at math, man. You nailed it on your 5th try. It's good.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. That's what I thought you said.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, no, I do appreciate the thought. I thought it was cool. I don't know what happens. Also, because I got locked out of Steam for a good long time. So even that, like, that was a fun game where it's like, hey, do you remember your password? I was like, of course I do. Let me try it 20 times.
Well, there are. I don't know about everybody else, like I said, but there are games for me that I feel like have been increasing in complexity over the years, and like I'll sit down and go to play and I'll be like, fuck no, I don't have the time to learn all of this, like the depth of everything. It's just too complex. I'm like, I don't know, and I just get like, and that's what's talking even with Carly's game that she got me. Like I feel like I was lucky that it learned at a pace that I felt like matched like my level, but. There's some stuff that I'm like, I can't fucking touch this. What are you talking about? There was Chris has been playing the hell out of Frostpunk, and that game just beat the ever-loving shit out of me and made me feel like I was worthless. And like I talked to Chris like a week ago, and he was like, yeah, I beat it, and now I'm hunting achievements in it. Like he's like intentionally like playing the game with both his hands tied behind his back and beating it. And I'm like, I struggled and couldn't win. So like I don't know.
Well, games aren't supposed to be fun, Tom. That's a common misconception. And I think we've all
Particularly
learned
that game.
this podcast that often they are not.
And I just keep making you guys play unenjoyable games.
No, you invite us. And we accept because we love garbage. Right?
We love
I make
garbage.
people
Consume.
That, Frank, you're on thin communist ice right now, Frank.
All right, very good. That's framed. That
Framed.
Tom gave Victor. Okay, well, we have one more game here to discuss, and it was Victor who gave me this game.
So before we're going into it, where would you put Victor on the scale from the naughty to nice list, with it being Carly on one end for nice, and then Frank on the
Yeah, there should definitely be a scale.
Well, I meant how nice did you think Victor was?
Oh, for getting me a game?
Yeah. How considerate was Victor on a scale from Carly to Frank? is what I was asking.
Yeah.
Much more Carly. Much more Carly than Frank.
Hi, Carly.
Although at face value, maybe it doesn't seem that way. So I received a game from Victor. Victor, whom I've been good friends with since before 3rd grade. He knows me very well. And I don't know his research process for this, but what I received in my inbox, I think it honestly shows how well he knows me. I was gifted the game Being Left the Fuck Alone Simulator.
I thought I saw you playing that the other day.
Yeah, and I'll play through it here on stream, or the video that I recorded for it. This game comes in at a slim 94 megabytes in an era where you're used to 30 gig games. This game is also going to leave your hard drive the fuck alone. It's smaller than the audio file for this podcast will be. It is a very small game. It's described as a fantasy fulfillment game by Matt Durive. The music, which comes in right away, it's perfect. It's chill, relaxing. It's nice gentle piano. It's a point and click adventure style game. You walk around your house and you use the look action, and you get text box pop-ups to get feedback on things, and the action tool to interact with them. There's no threats in this game. You just kind of wander around and you're left the fuck alone. And if video games are escapism, this pitch for this game should be the peak of it. Now, as for how it looks, it's like, I think Tom, you described something as 8-bit earlier when you're talking about Dance or Crypt of the Necrodancer. If that's 8-bit, this might be like 7-bit. That's not how those work, but it's this
is
game,
like the dinosaur game.
Dino Park Tycoon, yeah, it forces you to run this in full screen, and if you're giving someone that limited amount of pixels, don't force them to run it in full screen. It looks bad when you stretch blocks out that much, but I'm going to focus on the good parts of this game. The point is that this is a game that allows you to meditate on yourself and only yourself. It's an escape, a simulator in which your email pop-ups should not distract you, so maybe it should be full screen. That's a feature, I suppose. It reassures you at the beginning there's no way to lose this game. There's nothing you can do to mess it up and not 100% it. There's a score indicating how many things you've discovered in it, but again, that's not really the point. It says nothing's difficult, although there is one obligatory difficult to navigate staircase, which when you're navigating in these games that are like slightly isometric, going downstairs is always difficult. You go like left, down, left, down, left, down, left, down. And you get to create your own character, which you guys can see my character. You have amazing, a surprising amount of like clothing slots to choose different colors for. Not like the styles though. You're stuck with a hat that kind of looks like Link's, I guess. Yeah, or what Ebenezer Scrooge wears to bed.
So Chris, you did
nightcap.
on purpose. You did digital blackface.
Okay, so I thought it would be cool if I made my character look like a shadow. Instead, I kind of potentially made him look offensive. It was, and I was off. I was exploring the house. So you begin your adventure through the house. One of the first things you're going to notice is there's a cat. His name is Mr. Kelly, and he's a very good cat. You do have an inventory. You can pick up some random things around the house, like a book. You can take it out into your yard. You can interact with the book and read it. You get a message about how much you enjoyed reading the book. You can see Mr. Kelly again. That'll make you happy. You get your favorite drink out of the refrigerator. You can take a bath. You can take a nap. You can pet Mr. Kelly again multiple times. Sometimes Mr. Kelly gets the zoomies and he'll just run around the house. That's enjoyable. You can sit on the couch and watch your TV as it goes through a couple stills of a movie that it tells you is your favorite movie. You can sit on the other couch and watch the fire. All this is delivered to you in text box pop-ups telling you how much you're enjoying these things. Again, with the backing chill music, you're just vibing in your house. I keep glancing over at the video and like, yeah, there's my character in blackface. There's two big interaction-like things that happen in this game. You can go into your bathroom and interact with the mirror, which you do daily affirmations. And this like mini game like thing, you type them in one by one, little messages like, I am proud of myself. I am going to look forward today. I am trying my best, and that is enough. There's 53 of these things which you type out, and you don't have to do all of them. You're getting points for just doing one of them. And it was surprisingly nice just saying these things out loud and typing them at your own pace. Is it what I expected out of a game called Being Left the Fuck Alone? Not necessarily, but it was a nice little surprise. And the other interaction is out in the hammock. You interact with it when you sit in it, and what it launches is really just playing an audio file of a 17-minute video clip of a mindfulness meditation, doing a body scan. If you guys are familiar with that, just like just talking you through feeling the different parts of your body and what they feel like. It's just a way to calm you down. It's odd to do it in a video game because like the audio file itself says you should be laying down while doing it. But anyway, so those are the two big interactions, although there's a couple more interactions you can do. You can go into the bathroom and relieve yourself and get feedback with some surprisingly crass language that it went really well and you feel amazing now. You just use the toilet, Frank. Although the other you can go into bed and take a nap, and if you interact with yourself in bed, you interact with yourself in bed. And if you do it again, it's
so
like
Frank's right all of a sudden.
Great.
If you do it again, it's like, wow, twice in a row, and you can keep clicking it, and then it's like 3, you animal, 4, outrageous, 5 times untethered, and it just keeps doing it over and over again. And you guys can probably guess how many times I clicked
How
on
many
it to get
clicks until Stalin shows up, though?
How many times is no, it's just blood.
Oh God.
It's 2 red blocks.
Did it keep giving you original responses?
No, it just kind of cycles. Oh, there, it just did it on stream. Yeah, it says twice in a day. Someone's certainly getting into the spirit. Thrice, and now it's just going to keep kind of repeating itself. 5 times in a row, degenerate. So, can anyone guess what number I went up to?
25.
12.
69.
There you go. Victor got the
nice.
sexy number. All right. So yeah. Now, I'll when you go up there, it does
That's a
give
point.
you. Sure. You want that point? You can be proud of that point,
No,
Victor.
I don't want it.
That's outrageous.
Yeah, you get up there and it makes a comment about, wow, you're still flexible. So that's the end of that interaction. After seeing every room in the house, which I think there's 7 and a handful of things to interact with, especially in the bedroom. Heyo. I realized there wasn't much. There wasn't really that much to like a world to wander around in, and that was kind of disappointing. There's just like the 7 rooms you walk around in and you click on things. I could actually done with more like walking around mildly interesting looking streets with maybe cats to click on, but maybe that's a risk of leaving the house, is that people won't leave you the fuck alone. So at the top, it does have a score tracker. And by the time I was kind of like done, I thought, especially in the bathroom, I was at 130 out of 160. Thank you, Victor.
You're welcome.
I was at 130 out of 160, and they kind of like award arbitrary amounts of points. So I found myself just wandering around the house trying to combine objects and like clicking on absolutely everything, which was not a fun experience. Like trying to find those last things, I felt like achievement hunting. So like it started off as this Zen thing, just exploring things, and then it turns into this thing of like, oh, have I clicked on this? Am I getting repeat messages? Why am I carrying around a bedspread? Because I picked it up, it's in my inventory. It starts to become stress inducing, but yeah, so I did a little bit of research on the game because that's kind of what I do. And there's remarkably little about this game on the internet. It's on the Unity engine. It was created with a plugin called Adventure Creator, which is it's essentially a thing that lets you create in the Unity engine without using any code at all. You can make 2D or 3D games. Some games made with this include Herod Halibut, which we actually mentioned on this podcast, a game called Yes Your Grace, and a game called Little Misfortune, which is a pretty funny game I've bought but haven't played yet.
Grace.
Good? Meh?
Yeah, no, Grace and I played together, and yeah, so what'd you say? You were joking, you were saying if this is 7-bit, you know what? Then I guess it'd be like 7.5, right? It was a little better than this, a little worse than Cryptid and Necrodancer. It was interesting, and I guess like I got to what maybe felt like either a midpoint or maybe like the end of a section. Realized I'd be kind of like doing the same kind of things again, and then like I was like, nope, I have no desire to continue. I don't know. It stopped being novel and was bored. So.
Yeah, I mean the tool that they use definitely is capable of a lot, because Little Misfortune is a very good looking game, very like a 3D spaced, great art style. So this is their outcome with it though. It's very 2D. There's some isometric angle to it, but it's very simple, and it actually only came out last month. Again, very small game, no marketing at all. It just has a Steam page. Can't find anything about the creator. It has an all-time peak of 2 players at once, and it has been listed at $5 since launch. So yeah, as much as I love the game and that Victor got this as a gift for me, thank you, Victor. I don't think the name fits it very well. You are alone, except for Mr. Kelly, who doesn't count, except that he's music's very important. At the beginning of the game, it feels like it's embracing that escapist fantasy. But assuming you were to do like the 17-minute included mindfulness meditation, you would get a maximum of like 35 minutes out of this. It's not a simulator you're gonna come back to. I would quicker call Power Wash Simulator being the left the fuck alone simulator rather than this, but it's a good name for marketing purposes. I think it just doesn't really dwell on what you would expect it to. It's not like you're actively avoiding people. It's just kind of hanging around the house and mildly enjoying it for like 15 minutes. So, but the writing is pretty fun and witty. Like the messages are good. I think playing this, it made me feel the struggle of does everything have one message of feedback when you interact with it, or do you do two? And no matter what, you're going to force the player to like read the same message over and again until they get bored and walk away. You know, it's just kind of the pitfall of point and click adventures, I guess. But one quick thing on the graphic style, if you're looking at it, it doesn't work for me. It's obnoxiously bright color palette. It looks like they're working off like a 64 color palette. It reminds me of old DOS games like King's Quest that I played in the 90s. That's not peaceful inducing, but they could have done a muted palette that would have been a lot better, or pastel palette, I was going to say.
Chris,
just looks,
you made a pun a little
what did I say?
earlier. I think you said it's kind of a pitfall of these 2D games.
Oh, it does look like Pitfall on Atari. I did that on purpose, and I'm really funny. I don't know whether they were aiming for that early 90s look or just doing it because of the simplicity of the maker they were using, but I don't know. I don't think that served the purpose of the game. So yeah. And in case you were wondering what you did with the bedspread, you took it and you covered all of your work stuff so you wouldn't have to look at that evil stuff anymore. And there was a thing you could do. You interact with your phone and you purposely break it on the table, which was a weird, hard thing to find. And it just made me think like an escapist fantasy that called being left the fuck alone. I'd rather just destroy work stuff than, I don't know, wander around the house. But yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed it. So on the scale of Frank to Carly at giving gifts, definitely closer to Carly than to Frank. Victor, good work.
Thanks. It was supposed to be kind of like, I just remember playing California games or something.
Oh yeah,
like those.
Yeah, on the old Mac. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, well, it looks, from the little bit I did, I saw a hammock. I'm like, Chris needs some hammock time. He likes games. Maybe he doesn't have a hammock. I don't think you do. But it was like an excuse for you to not do so. You know, you consume so much garbage on such a regular basis. I thought maybe.
No, I appreciate it, and I enjoyed. Like I said, I definitely enjoyed my first few minutes in it, and then when it became like an achievement hunting thing, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm done with this, but I will get 100% with it. So is
well,
it?
That's yeah.
No, and there's not. I guess if you're playing it to the spirit of the game, maybe you shouldn't. But I think the most time you can get out of it is like 10, 15 minutes. So is that worth $5 for you? I don't know. That's up to you. I'm not sure I'd recommend it, but I appreciate it as a gift. At least it wasn't Sex with Stalin. I can say that.
Yeah. Second on my list.
All right, that's all the gifts we exchanged this evening, right? How do we score this? Who was the most naughty? Frank was the most naughty. There's no discussion to be had there.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Wow. He
lump of 3D coal.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
turned off the mature filter to get a game.
Who is subjected to the worst game.
Oh.
As like a consolation for.
Oh, I thought I was supposed to give Frank a piece of coal. What were you saying?
I meant like awarding Carly for the trauma she had to subject herself to.
I just want to forget about this whole evening.
But that might inadvertently encourage Frank.
Yeah, he's quiet because he's enjoying it. Yeah.
And also, if I were to give Carly something to commemorate this, wouldn't she look at it and every time think?
Yeah.
Yes, she would.
I would.
Yikes! So I should give something to Frank to punish him, is what you're saying?
I think there's an argument to award.
Can you punish the unpunishable?
I think there's an argument here to award Tom some points for this evening. He had a pretty excitable and thorough, take on the game.
Are you just trying to avoid winning, Carly?
Yeah, I did.
You made that pretty clear earlier.
Well, again, the gift was with you all along, except for Carly's. The only thing on my 3D printing thing that's Stalin related is Octo-Stalin, which is Stalin that is an octopus. And again, I don't think we should give that to Carly.
That's one of the endings.
Oh, is it? Octopus Stalin?
I don't know. That was a joke.
Probably.
I wouldn't doubt it, though.
I think we will bring this format back. We just have to find a way to punish or restrict Frank.
I just need consequences.
Yeah. How else are you gonna learn? Great. Well, I'm really looking forward to picking up Crypt of the Necrodancer and Framed, which I guess is actually in my Steam library right now. Yeah, but I have some new games to check out, and this is cool that we got to check out some games that we wouldn't have checked out otherwise. So yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
Shut up, Frank. You know what you did.
Guys, did that ruin Christmas again?
All clips in this podcast were used in compliance with the U.S. Copyright Fair Use Exemption for criticism and commentary. Garbage Game Night makes no claims to ownership over any games played and has no affiliation with any developer or publishing company. For additional references on cited articles and quotes, check our episode-related blog at garbagegamenight.com. Or if you have a comment about the game we reviewed or have a suggestion, drop us a line.